You can tell when something isn't right in your life. You can feel it. You carry it with you every day. You feel it in your body. You feel it in your spirit, and you're tired. But when you really stop and think about it, you can't fully explain what's wrong. You just know that you keep ending up in the same place, the same feelings, the same reaction, the same pattern. So today's episode, we're going to talk about that place where you know something needs to change, but you keep telling yourself you're not ready yet. We're going to also talk about why waiting to feel ready keeps so many people stuck and what it actually looks like to be willing instead. Before we discuss that, I want to welcome anyone who's new here. Hi. I am Rose, and I'm your host here at the Sister Love Podcast, and I'm just one woman with one voice trying to help women heal one story at a time. And if you're a woman who is in the beginning stages of their healing journey and don't know where to start and is searching for resources, support, and education, then you are in the right place. I would love for you to become part of our sister. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you never miss another episode of a Sister Love Podcast. And don't forget to join our Facebook group, Sister Let's Heal Together, where we keep these conversations going, share our stories, and support each other along the way. All right, let's get back into it. Because one of the things I hear all the time, and I used to say to myself too, is I'm not ready yet. I'll get to it when I'm ready. I'll deal with it when things calm down. I'll figure it out when I'm in a better headspace. And in our minds, being ready looks like this moment where life just finally cooperates. The kids aren't driving you crazy. You're not running around doing 1,000 things. You're not constantly working, cleaning, fixing, managing. There's no family drama, no money stress, no car problems. Life just pause and everything is balanced out. Everything lines up and you're like, okay, now this is the perfect time to deal with what's coming up for me. But real life doesn't work like that, right? Because when you avoid things, they just don't go away. They just come back differently. And different people, different situations, same feelings, unresolved pain does not disappear. It's just changed form. It took me a long time to learn that. Honestly, it took me about 13 years. One of the biggest turning points for me was when I had to learn and I had to start looking at the world different. And I noticed that it was coming from my past because I was sexually assaulted when I was younger by someone I loved and trusted. And for a long time, I didn't talk about it. I avoided it. I pushed it down. But what I didn't understand back then was that I was avoiding it wouldn't make it stop affecting me. It changed how I saw everything. I started convincing myself that bad things were always going to happen to me because I had been experiencing that. So in my mind, pain was always the ending. I couldn't tell the difference between what was actually happening in front of me and what my mind was replaying from my past. I didn't trust people. I believed that anyone I trust would eventually hurt me. And that fear showed up in the strongest way when it came to my children. If someone was around my children, my mind would immediately go there. I would create stories in my head, convince myself something bad is going to happen. And it consumed me. I became extremely overprotective. My kids couldn't go anywhere without me. They couldn't be alone with people. They had to stay together at all times. I wanted to know everything. I told myself I was just being a good mom, that I was protecting them. But the truth was my unhealed trauma was controlling how I showed up as a parent. I was willing to look at what I was doing. I was willing to talk about it. I was willing to ask myself why I was reacting the way I was. See, that's the difference between being willing and being ready. The difference is being ready is waiting for life to feel perfect first. Being willing to say, I don't need to feel safe, but I'm not going to keep running from myself. I had to make a choice. And so do you. What are you avoiding? Because waiting to be ready keeps you stuck, right? It keeps you replaying the same memories over and over and over in your head, right? Like they're happening right now. It keeps this anxiety around you. It keeps you disconnected from the present moment. Being willing brings you into the now, right? It helps you to see what's actually happening and not just a story that your mind keeps telling you in your head. It gives you the ability to feel what's going on instead of carrying it forever. That's what Open Doors for. This season isn't about having the answers. It's not about doing this perfectly. It's about willing. And all I have to do is right now, I don't know what to do, but I'm willing to try. That's enough. You don't have to have it all figured out to be here, but you have to make a choice. I'm going to need you to lean in for a second because it's the part that people usually skip past. When I say make a choice, let me be clear. I am not talking about choosing this podcast. I'm not talking about choosing to listen to this episode or keep up with the season. This has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. This has everything to do with you. I'm talking about the choice you're making in your own life. The choice is to keep making excuses about why things aren't changing. The choice to keep avoiding things because they're uncomfortable. The choice to keep saying, I'm not ready yet. Or the choice to be willing. And I know when I say willing, you might be like, willing to see. What does that even mean? Here's what I mean. Being willing to see means giving yourself the chance to be present, to pulling yourself out of what happened and bring yourself back into what is actually happening now. That's the past. The things that already happened, the memories that you keep replaying. But what is happening right now? That's what's willingness is giving you access to. I want to be clear. I'm not talking about living in the future either, right? Because the past keeps you stuck. The future keeps you in anxiety. The only place you can actually do anything is right now. The power of being willing to see life for what it is, for not what it was, and not for what it's afraid it could be. And no, seeing life for what it doesn't mean everything goes perfect. It doesn't mean sunshines and rainbows and everything. It doesn't give you something that you think is going to be all this magic. It gives you the ability to remove things that has been controlling you, the things that has been holding you hostage, the things that has been running your life without even realizing it. It gives you a chance to move forward in the direction that you choose, not the ones driven by fear, anxiety, depression, frustration, or overwhelm. That's the choice. When you're willing to see, you can notice the past without living there. You can notice what's coming up without letting it take over. And you can stay right here in the present long enough to choose differently. And now you get to decide what you keep going back to and what you keep doing. You do not want to stay in this stuck place. You do not want these stories to keep repeating in your head. You get to choose what comes next. You get to choose what comes next. Since we're talking about what's next, let me actually talk about what we're going to be talking about in the next episode. Because a lot of time, once we stop avoiding and making excuses, we start being willing to see what's going on and the things that's happening. But the next thoughts pop up, and that thought is, now what? Like, okay, I see what it is, but what do I do with what I see? And that's what we're diving into in episode 2. In episode 2, I'm going to go deeper into my story. I'm going to talk more about the parts where I'm willing and where I was willing to do things, but feel stuck in the process of being willing. The space where I'm like, okay, I see it. I'm here. Now what? I'm going to talk about the feelings I had, the thoughts that I had, the things I tried, the things that worked, and the things that didn't work. But I'm not going to go into all of that right here, into too many details, because we're about to just jump into episode 2 anyways. And the season just dropped. And all the season is dropped at once. So we could binge watch this joint. So I don't got to go into that many details. All right. But before we leave, I want to say something to you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I don't take it lightly when you come here and listen to me. And I don't know if I said this before, but as much as this podcast is healing for me, I truly want it to help you too. I really appreciate you spending time with me, listening, commenting, engaging with me in my content. I appreciate it more than you know. And if you want more intimate interactions with me or with this podcast, I do have a support group. It's called Sister Let's Heal Together on Facebook. All you have to do is find the information in the show notes below, right? And inside this group, we have the conversations that we have here around the podcast. We support each other. It's a safe place to be heard and see. Until next time, signing out, your sister love. Bye.